Good morning. Sounds awesome. All right. All right. So thank you very much for waking up early in the morning for our Falcon show. My name is Pubudu and I'm one of your Falconers today. And also I have my team over here, Mr. Liam, Michelle, and also Marno. So we all together will be doing the Falcon show for you today. All right. So before we start flying our birds, I'm going to take a few minutes and explain about the Falcons, falconry, and pretty much about their history as well. All right, so let's start with the history for a little bit. Falconry began more than 2,500 years ago in this part of the world. Now, when you look at the reasons why they wanted to have falcons, the people who lived here, the Bedouins, the local indigenous people, they were having a very basic lifestyle in this part of the world, especially in this desert. And also they had a very simple diet. Their diet mostly consisted with camel milk and also dates from the date palm trees, and also sometimes reptiles whenever they were able to catch them. So they used to eat one of the big giant lizards you can find here, just like kind of looks like iguanas. So that's the easy food for the summertime. Hunting in the desert is not easy because having this vegetation is not natural. All these trees are planted. We used to have some trees, but not in big densities like this. So it's not you like hunting in Africa in the bush, right? Not easy to take a cover and also not easy to hunt these gazelles and oryx. So that's why they mostly relied on these reptiles. So if you can catch one of those lizard, that's going to be like more than 1 kilogram of meat for the whole family. Bring it home, cook as you want, barbecue or whatever you want. So that's what they mostly ate in the summertime. But in the winter time, what you're going to eat, because you don't have these reptiles in the winter time, they hibernate. So they goes to deep burrows and then they don't come out for 3-4 months. So now you have to have another way to supplement your diet with protein. And then they found out you have your falcons migrating back to this part of the world, because in the summertime, you don't have your falcons. 50 degrees Celsius. It's too hot for them, not only for them, for us as well, right? So they go to normally Central Asia, Europe, and they come back right before the winter. Then the Bedouin people used to catch them right after they arrived, and then you can train them. It normally take like 4 to 6 weeks to train one of those birds, and then you can use them for hunting. So without those birds, it's not easy to find your food in the winter time. So they used to hunt one of the big giant bird called Hubara bustard. So this is like a half-grown turkey. They can weigh up to 2 to 4 kilograms. It's a big bird. Actually, normally these falcons, these small falcons, in the wild, they normally don't hunt them because it's too big for them. But we can train these birds to hunt that big bird for us. All right. So having a falcon is kind of a status symbol back in the days. That showed that you're a good supplier, provider with protein for the whole family. In another way, if you're a man, then you have to have a falcon. Then you can feed the family in the winter time. So back in the days, for them, they used to catch them falcons out of the wild. But now for us, we're not allowed to do that. Because here in UAE, hunting or killing or disturbing any animals is not allowed. So they are protected by law. Now, when we need a falcon, there are places that we can go and buy them. So there are falcon souk, just like the gold souk, spice souk, a falcon shop in simple way. And also they have breeders, breeding centers. So when we need a falcon, what you're going to do, we're going to go to one of those places. And then when you are buying a bird, you're just going to select from whatever they have. And you're going to hope this is going to be a good flyer in future. And then you bring it home. Then you can train them for shows like this and also for falcon training. You can YouTube later, okay? So they use falcons for racings. And also you can use them train them for hunting, but you're not allowed to use them for hunting over here. So what they do, they take them to different countries. So they take them to Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all these towns. So that's why you can do hunting. When you're taking your falcon to different country, you're not allowed to put them in the cargo section of the aeroplane. So what you're going to do, they have their passports. Falcons have their passports. And then you can book a normal plane seat for them. So when you're flying in Emirates, when you're flying in Etihad, you will see a falcon sitting right next to you. So that's how they take them. Sometimes they book all A380 to take them to different countries for hunting. All right, so that's for us. But for the Bedouins, they didn't have falcon shops or breeders. So as we know now, they used to catch them out of the wild. So I'm going to quickly explain you how did they catch them out of the wild. So catching a falcon is not an easy thing. Catching a falcon actually is not a very difficult thing as well. It's pretty much like you going for fishing, right? To catch your fish, you have to have a bait. So to catch a falcon also, you have to have a bait. So what you can use as a bait. So what they normally hunt in the wild? Birds. Very good. So we have to catch a bird first as a prey. So what are the birds you can easily catch around here? Have you seen those small birds what we call quails or grey franklin, just like chicken? Or one of them, or maybe you can catch, let's say pigeon, easy, because you can always find them around your home. They always live close to human. So let's catch a pigeon first. So catching a pigeon is a very easy thing. I'm pretty sure you all have done sometime. Some of them have you have done this when you were kids. So you just have to set up a small box or basket trap and then put some grain, rice or whatever in there. When the pigeon go inside, I'm not going to explain about the whole setup. You know what I'm talking about, right? So then you're going to pull the string and the box fall down to it, and then you go grab the pigeon. Very easy. Okay, this is our pigeon now. Let's say this is our pigeon. So the first thing you have to do, you have to tie it down with using like 15 meters long rope. When you pluck them off, when you remove them, none of the birds can fly. They extremely need these flight feathers for flying. So basically now you are disabling the bird. All right. And the next thing, what they would do, they used to attach a backpack made out of date palm leaves and camel or horsehair. This backpack goes on the back of the pigeon right here. And on the top of that backpack, they would put some slip knots and nooses. Why we have this backpack? When the falcons are hunting, they usually come from a cliff or something like that, like from altitude. And then they grab their prey in midair with using their talons. So they grab their prey from here. So now we have this backpack, and then we have these slip knots and nooses. What we want? When they land on the back of the pigeon, which means back of the backpack, we want their talons to get tangled on that slip knots and nooses we put on it. Very easy. So that's the plan. All right, so your bait is ready now. So now you have to wait for a falcon. When you see a falcon in the area, what Bedouin would do, they would hide from their side somewhere like in a bush or something like that. And then they will release the pigeon they have. What's going to happen now? So this pigeon is already attached to that rope, so it cannot fly away. No flight feather, of course, it cannot fly. It's going to start flapping the wing on the ground. Now this is kind of looks like an injured bird. The falcons are very opportunistic hunters. They always go for the easiest catch. When the falcons see a pigeon struggling on the ground, looks like an injured bird, easy catch. Then the falcon will stoop down, land on the back of the pigeon. Now what's going to happen? Their talons going to get tangled on the slip knots and nooses. Very easy. We just caught a falcon. All right. This is our falcon now. So we have a very unhappy, angry falcon now. Because this is a wild bird, right? This is the first time maybe they see human. So we have to calm it down. The easy way we can calm it down, like this, by covering their eyes. So you can see I have this hood on my falcon. If I take this off, she can see you guys, and she will not be maybe really feel comfortable with that. And also she can see all these birds flying around here. Maybe she want to go and give a try to catch them. To avoid that craziness, that's why I have this hood on only when I'm working on it. For the Bedouin, they didn't have this technology. So what you have to do, first you have to have a piece of blanket, throw it and cover the entire bird, the package, and bring it in. And then you have to have a needle and single camel or horsehair. And then you're going to put one stitch on the bottom eyelid and pull it up, tie it down on the back of the head. I know I can see on your faces it sounds very painful, right? But it's not. According to the clever, smart people, there are no nerves on the bird eyelids, so it doesn't give a pain. All right. So now we're quickly going to go for the training. So now you have your falcon. First, you're going to put your falcon on a perch like this. their traditional perch they used to call wakir. And then you tie it down and secure the bird. So now, before you start training, this bird needs to get used to human because these are wild birds, right? So what the Bedouin would do, they would place the bird somewhere you get a lot of human sounds. So the perfect place back in the days in the Bedouin tent is the ladies' tent or the kitchen. That's where you get a lot of sounds, right? I mean, you're talking to your kids and then a lot of sounds come out from the kitchen and all. So that way, the bird's gonna get used to all these sounds. And of course, you have your kids. You're gonna ask your kids, don't touch the bird. They're not gonna listen to you. They will go and touch the bird. That way, they're gonna get used to that as well. But nowadays, we don't do that. What we do, we have a nice television in our room, put the television on and put the bird in front of it, and that way they're gonna get used to all these sounds and all. So during this time period, we will not feed the bird because the only relationship we have with these birds on food base, we love them, but they don't love us. The only reason they come to us because of the food. So you don't feed the bird for 4 or 5 days, and then you're going to introduce you as their new food source. All right, to do that, what you're going to do, take a nice piece of meat and put it on the talons, rub like this. When you do that to a wild bird, it's very irritating. They don't like it. So then what they're going to do, they're going to start pecking down to see what you're doing in there. After 3 or 4 days when you do that, their eyes will start sag open. Now the bird can see you a little bit. And then whenever they see the meat, they are very hungry, didn't eat for 4 or 5 days, no other choice, they will grab the meat and eat. When they do that, that's a really good sign. Now you're going to give more food. What they need to learn, whenever they see you, that's where they get their food, easy food. Then we're going to introduce the food over the glove. To do this, this is the next step. Take a nice piece of meat, put it on the glove. Back in the days, they didn't have gloves, so they used some other material, maybe leather or something to wrap it out to protect your hand from the claws, right? So sit right next to the bird, like in this distance, and show the meat. So now it's a waiting game. The bird needs to come to us. We're not going to give them. They have to come to us. When the birds see the food and very hungry, and there will be a day they will jump onto the glove and grab the meat you're placing on it. This can happen in 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, never know. But it will happen. If that happens, that means 60-70% of your training is done because the bird accepted you as their new food source. Now we're going to go to the last step. Now we have to train them how to fly. To train them how to fly, we use this gadget right here. This is what we call lure. It's made out of leather beanbag, long rope, heavy handle in the other side. The reason we have this heavy handle, we usually give this whole thing to the bird. And we don't want this bird to fly away with carrying this one. That's why this is more heavier than the bird. All right, so you're going to put a nice piece of meat on this thing and show it to the bird. Now the bird needs to jump into this one. And also you can put a long rope in between the jesses and perch. And that way the bird can jump to this one, but it will not fly away because it's already attached. If the bird is reacting really good, then what you're going to do, you're going to drag it further and further day by day, letting the bird to fly into this one and the grab meat you're placing on it. All right, so if the bird is reacting really good, that means you have a well-trained bird. Now you can try your first free flight. That's what I'm going to demonstrate to you right now. So I'm going to fly this beautiful bird right here. Her name is Haya, and she's a peregrine falcon. So the peregrine falcon is the fastest creature in the... It's all already. Thank you. So the peregrine falcon is the fastest creature in the world. They can speed up to 400 kilometers per hour. So that's the Lamborghini or Ferrari in the bird's world. The fastest ever record is 389 kilometers per hour. One of the peregrine falcon was diving down to catch her prey, a female. As I explained, the only reason the bird coming to me because of the food, not just because of she love me or like me now. You can see there's a fresh coil wing attached to this one. So she know if she can catch this one, she gets some food. All right, so what I'm going to do now, thank you, Liam. I'm going to release this bird, untie her first. Thank you. Untie her first. As you can see now, she's very excited because she knows she's going to get food. So now I will take the hood off. There we go. Now she's going to take a little bit of time to adjust the eyesight because it has been closed, right? It's a similar feeling like you come out from your room to go to bathroom or something like that, turn on the lights, and that's the same feeling that now she's going to feel. So also she's going to scan the area for a little bit to see if there are any predators in the area. So I have one rule for you. Please don't stand up anytime because these birds can fly very low. Sometimes they will come from right behind you. And 800 grams over here comes in like 150 kilometers per hour. When you stand up hitting on your back of the head, it's going to be a free haircut for the whole day. All right, so now the competition is going to start. Whenever she's coming back, I have to have this lure ready for her to catch. There we go. So now she's going to take, it's going to be a very fast one, taking a little bit of altitude, just like that, like a bullet, right? Changing the angle. Now she's going to come from the sun to blind me out. Diving down. There we go. So she's doing really good so far today. So I'm going to give her a few more stoops like this. And this is the only time she gets her exercise. But I need to make sure not to give her too much exercise. All right, so this is going to be the last one. Actually, this will be the last one. After that, I'm going to let her catch the beanbag. Hut! There we go. All right, so she did a really good job today. And she's very happy because she caught something in her mind. Of course, she caught something, right? And she got her exercise for the whole day. And also I got mine as well. So we're going to take a break. So what's she going to do over there? Now, as we know, there's a wing, right? Attached to the beanbag. She's going to eat that first, but that's just a reward. I have her main course in my hand. So this is her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is also fresh coiled meat, and it's organic. We don't give any chicken or anything that you buy from the supermarkets, as we know how much thing they put chemicals, hormones, whatever you call, huh? So she's pulling off all the hard feathers from the wing right now, because if she eats the hard feathers, it can damage her crop. They have a crop just like in chicken. So that's where they normally store their food, right? And then after that, she's going to eat the rest of the meat with the soft feathers, and that's going to help her to digest her food. And also there are bones for her to get her calcium. But this is a very risky moment right now, especially with the Bedouins back in the days. Because right after she finishes the wing, if she feels not hungry, then she will fly away. So that's why I had to go fast as much as possible. So just give me a minute, I'll be back with the bird, hopefully. All right, so happy Falcon and also happy owner, because I managed to grab it back. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to secure it by tie her down. If not, when the food is gone, the relationship is gone. Okay. So when they eat, what they normally do, they remove the feathers first and then break the pieces, meat into small pieces and swallow. Also, they can swallow bigger pieces. They normally don't get choked. Even if they get if the meat gets stuck in the throat, they have these barbs and spines that can push it out, reposition, and they can swallow it back. So every time when we are feeding this bird, we have to be very careful. We cannot give food as much we want. They have their maximum flying weight. We figure this out when we are training the bird. So every day before we bring the birds, we weigh them first. If they are overweight than their maximum flying weight, we don't fly them. Overweight means they are not hungry. If they are not hungry, they will not come to us. So also they will not get food sometime if they are overweight and we don't fly. And also we don't trust these birds. Every time when we are flying these birds, we're flying with a tracking device. You can see that on the tail. on the back. This is a telemetry device, or let's say a radio transmitter or something like that. So in case if they make unscheduled holiday to somewhere, then we can track and get it back. And also, if you have seen those mountains are in a different country which we call Oman. So Oman is not that far away from here. For them to go there, they don't need visa. But for us to go there, we need visa. If they fly to that direction, it's not easy to get them back. So we have to always make sure they are not going to that direction. All right, so that's pretty much my time, this beautiful bird. So I'm going to hand this over to